What is free will and do you have it? Well, it depends. But in this video, we're going to make the case for free will. Part 2 will be the case against free will. Part 3 is going to be the it depends. That's the one you're going to want to see. So what is free will? It is the ability to make choices without predetermined factors or conditions. No external constraints. Now, if you go into this topic, you will find so many arguments for and against. You have things like the strong free will theorem. This essentially just states that we have free will because subatomic particles have free will. Arguments can be made saying that just because physics can't account for free will doesn't mean that it doesn't exist. You can look at things like weighing options. When you go to the ice cream store, picking chocolate, vanilla, or strawberry, you can make a deliberate choice. People point to self-reflection as a sign of free will, reflecting on your actions so that you can make more value-influenced decisions for the future. The fact that you're still watching this video is a sign of free will. No one's forcing you to do this. Look at social norms and societal conditions. Society is built on the fact that people are responsible for their actions, which implies they are the ones making the decisions for them. You may have heard of libertarians, and this philosophical stance has free will at the core center. Limiting freedoms is limiting somebody's free will to make decisions. And free will is an essential part of core human dignity and agency. You can look at things like the marshmallow test, an experiment that was done in the 1960s. Marshmallow was placed in front of a child and they were told they could eat it right then, but if they waited, they could have 2 marshmallows. Supporters of free will say this exhibits a child's choice to delay gratification to exhibit their free will for a greater reward in the future. In this book, Roy Baumeister looked at how people can deplete and replenish their self-control. He argues that even though self-control can be lessened, we have the ability to build it back up. His research supports the idea of free will. Goal-setting theory was introduced in the 1990s. Where they show if you set challenging goals, it often leads to better outcomes if people try to achieve these goals with persistence, intention. This also could support the idea of free will, where if you push yourself into the right direction, you can willingly choose to overcome obstacles to achieve a higher goal. There's also been studies that have shown that even with epigenetics, which is the code that you are born with, it is the code that your ancestors, your grandparents, your parents, they pass on to you. You can overcome this code through things like lifestyle choices, diet, exercise. So does this mean we have free will? You might be thinking yes, but it's because you haven't seen the next video. Just like within this one, there's a lot of things that you can point to saying, hey, look, we do have free will. There's a lot of cases and a lot of studies that you can point to that show that you don't have free will. All the decision making that you're doing, just retroactively applying logic to it, but a decision was already made before you even realized you were making a decision. Let me know what you think. Does free agency exist? We'll see you in part 2.